right, this is as far as I can walk you. You have to host a ceremony tomorrow and Tosca's next week. Vienna won't forgive me if I take up too much of your time.
Don't worry about it. Like you said, the night breeze will do me some good.
She still cleaves hard Kakania's arm, imperceptibly shaking her head. As twilight falls, a few passerby notice the distinguished opera singer among them.
People will question the authenticity of the voice. Is it still the singer's own voice? Or is it a fraud?
No, Isolde. They think that because they know nothing about performance. Not even the slightest thing. The nature of the stage is to be someone else. If they're so intent on the presentation of the true self, the males in my clinic would like a word with them. It is an actor's job to become another person. On stage, in a fictional world, they briefly trick our eyes into thinking it's real. And to achieve that, we rehearse rigorously through sweat and pain. We take care of the music, the costumes, the settings, the lights. Your gift helps you do this better than others. That's all.
But I use the arcane skills of the Dittersdorf family. I couldn't have done these things without them.
Yeah, but the arcane skill is also something yours. It's not like you are taking some talent of somebody else. You just so happen to have a talent that goes down to every person that comes from your family. I couldn't have done this without them. It's part of you. It's not something lent to you.
What if an arcanist's talent for art is also a curse?
In your situation, it could be, yeah.
Maybe I'm just a fraud, Doctor. I'm propped up by my illness, and once it's cured, my talent will be gone with it.
My girl, when you get cured, your arcane skill will still be there. You'll still be able to do it. You just won't be losing yourself to it. Kakania pauses abruptly. She turns back, looking at an operatic genius tormented by her own talents.
It's not like that, Isolde. Using your talents is not cheating.
Exactly.
We're arcanists. But before we allow ourselves to be defined by that word, who are we, really? If an arcanist grew up on a lonely island, she wouldn't see herself as an arcanist, but as a person like you, like me, like everyone.
Yeah.
Doctor.
Isolde meets her gaze as the stars twinkle back in Kakania's eyes.
But you know, the truth is, when I look at a crowd, I don't see any arcanists. All I see is our people, with different talents, trapped in life, their selfhoods ground smooth until they're indistinguishable from the crowd. Humans celebrate their flaws, yet they persecute our gifts.
Because they're insecure. To this day, I'm saying this even in... listen, being an artist, being in around communities with artists, I see that a lot. Like, some people who are not creative think that, for example, drawing is a talent. Well, this might be true. Not everyone is like that. There are plenty of people who didn't have a talent, and through practice, they came to be as skilled as somebody who has a talent. Because let me tell you something, having a talent, and this is something I hate in our communities, there are many people out there who are naturally gifted with something and they deny it because they had to work on that talent to reach the skill they have today, which is true. You have to practice even when you have a talent. But while I was doing a lesson online on music business, the teacher said something I liked, and I prefer more to the idea that most artists have that, you know, talent is not a thing, you always have to work hard, blah, 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 blah. He said that whether you have a talent or not, you have to work for your skill. Because yes, you can have a talent, but if you never work on that talent, will it ever be anything beside that basic thing you have? Let's say that, yeah, you have a good hand, that's your talent, and that means you draw some things easier than others. You will need a lot of work to go past that point. Having talent alone means nothing. It makes your life easier, I will say this. Having a talent in anything, not just in art, does make your life easier, but it doesn't necessarily make you professional. It's hard work that puts you in that place, whether you have a talent or not. So yeah, when I see people who actually have something and they refuse it, saying that, you know, I worked hard for this, my brother from another mother, it doesn't matter. Like, Just because you worked hard doesn't mean that you never had a talent in the beginning. When many people tell you that you are talented, many creatives necessarily, because maybe people who are not creative can't necessarily say when somebody's talented or not because they're not familiar with what you're doing behind the scenes, behind what the social media show and whatnot. But when many creatives tell you that you're talented, it means you are probably talented. Your level, your initial level, if you like, was a level many other people had to work hard to get on. This doesn't diminish in any way the work you yourself put in your work to reach where you are now, but when you started, you already had a level that others worked hard to get to themselves. So, how do I say it? It's not that of a sin to admit you actually have a talent in something. I see imposter syndrome right and left. Like, yeah, obviously you two worked hard for this, but baby, you had something from the beginning. It's not bad to admit it. It doesn't make you a show off. It doesn't make you entitled or whatnot. But because there's so much competitiveness in these fields, even if somebody recognizes they have a talent in something, they will deny it in order to please others. No, honey. You do have a talent and you worked hard for it to get to a better level. Like, this doesn't mean that everybody else who doesn't have the talent won't reach your level at some point. They will. They will just need more time. And everybody's acting like it's so insane to admit you're talented. Like, it kills me. So I love that kakania here brings it up like this because, okay, in Isolde's case, she actually has a quote-unquote magical power, which kakania views as a talent. You had a talent. It doesn't mean that nobody will ever become as good of an opera singer, an opera actress as Isolde is. Even a human could reach her level. It's just that because she's able to control spirits, her becoming this type of character, it comes easier to her. It doesn't mean that she didn't work hard for becoming renowned or anything. Yeah, sure, she's a nepo baby, from what we understand. But she worked hard for what she has now, all right? It shouldn't be disregarded. Like, the way you see Isolde here, like, mental illness aside, is something that unfortunately is very prevalent in the artist society, and I'm so glad this game brings it up. It drives me nuts when I see artists say things like, oh, each person has their own journey, like some people will get things faster, others not, but they deny that this is a matter of talent. Like, people think that because some people grasp things faster than others, it is a matter of being smart or not smart. I don't believe that. It's just that some people are talented and get things faster in some fields. In other fields, they have it way harder than you, bro. Maybe you're better at cooking than somebody who's better at drawing than you. And yeah, it bothers you because your passion goes out to drawing, it doesn't go to cooking. Anyway, let's keep going because this patch is getting me too passionate on too many things.
They control the narrative. They define our gifts as diseases, our talents as weaknesses, and our bloodlines as curses. If we're cured, we're just another face in the crowd. But if we live on with our diseases, we're forever ill, forever afflicted. We arcanists have to live in such a world, where we survive through suffering. Look at this city. This most enlightened, tolerant city. Under the sweet surface of the Sachertorte lies powder and poisonous wine. Arcanists are recognized for their artistic abilities, nothing more. We hold no parliamentary seats, no professional titles, and no professional credentials.
I mean, in your case, you can speak because you didn't complete your studies, but in general, I agree with her.
We are exiled and marginalized. Our only voice in the culture is to be declaration, because declaration impacts nothing.
I disagree, but let's keep going.
The restrictions and discrimination against arcanists are worsening by day. First, we had to register with the government. Then we needed residence permits. And now, permission to cast arcane skills. And we can do nothing but tolerate, stay polite and dignified. Be a good arcanist, show no signs of instability, because we're supposed to stay rational. Otherwise, we're animals. But people are complicated. They can't stay rational forever. As Dr. Freud said, we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg.
As the streetlights come on, Kakania looks up, now resembling an actress mid-monologue beneath the stark light.
You might be sick. I might be too. But the truth is, this whole society is sick. You can't just treat the individual and ignore the bigger picture.
Oh my goodness. This game is making a political statement here. This is true, actually. If you see it like that. I too believe that, though. If we take a moment to observe societies nowadays everywhere in the world, I don't think there's any place in the world that is actually not sick. Like, look at the societies as a whole and the rules they apply to people. And I know that rules were created in society so there's a balance, you know? But is there really a balance the way we treat each other? I see a lot of cruelty, whether that's west or east, north or south. There's just so much unfairness. It feels like it's impossible to find a middle ground that will please everyone, and this results to all this hatred that exists everywhere. Like, I could screenshot this and put this on my wall or outside my door so that you know where I stand, because this is so true.
It was the repression of irrational desires that allowed the diseases to spread in our time. In this case, the people on that island are much freer than we are.
Depends on who you ask.
You mean that mysterious island? I hear gold is in the ground there.
Kakania nods with vigor.
Remember the lady from the Foundation?
Yes. Why?
She said the arcanists on that island are not lunatics, and they're living a life free of restrictions. Doesn't that sound great? If we could form our own society, like those artistic associations, and have control over our own production and labor. This must have been some kind of enlightenment. I can almost see it. They'll show us another way of life, a kingdom free of oppression.
Well, technically the Foundation has created that sort of small society, and repression is still a thing, so I don't know if you can escape that. Again, because the fact you're arcanists doesn't mean you will all have the same opinions. You will all need your rights, for sure. You will all agree that there are rights that you should have, but how those rights are put to action, that's another thing.
To help them is to help ourselves. And that's also what your exhibit is about.
Me? No, I'm not as great a person as you.
But you are working for a great cause.
The stars in her eyes begin to spread out. Kakania reveals a deep and tender smile.
Isolde, my friend, I've shared my dream with you. And I hope one day it'll become your own, until the day when everyone shares the same dream. Our society needs a revolution, a radical surgery. We urgently need a new vision to reunite us at the dawn of the new century. Like the secession in art history, we need a secession of arcanum to distinguish us from hysterical lunatics, street peddlers, and con artists. We need a new dream, a new saga. We need to reinvent ourselves and become a new people. No more repression, only the full embrace of our primal desires.
Kakania concludes her monologue, removing her hat to fastidiously straighten the feathers on top.
That's why your work has not been in vain. From Theophil's art exhibition to the promotion of new art, do not doubt yourself. You're helping a great cause.
Thank you, Doctor. This is the first time anyone said that to me. I will bear that in mind. Your words in the breeze of night have been stirring. Can you walk with me a little longer? I'd like to hear more things about the cessation you mentioned, so that I can prepare my speech for tomorrow's ceremony.
Yes, it is my pleasure. Would you like a walk to the Wiener Volksoper? I think they put up new posters.
So I wanted to say something about what we experienced with Isolde's memories, but I didn't want to cut it again because I'm talking a lot in this patch and the dialogues became too emotional and I didn't want to, take us out of trance. I don't remember exactly what I wanted to say though, that's the sad part, but I did want to sum up a little bit what I understood from his story. So Theophil did start the fire, apparently to become renowned because his art wasn't as known as he would like. and many artists had died so that they could immortalize their art, I guess. Which is weird to me because it is true that many artists in the past became renowned after they died. But I do wonder right now if there were artists that actually killed themselves because they thought that was the only way for them to actually be renowned. I never thought of it from this perspective, and I don't know if artists ever did it that way. Now, as to how he died, I don't know how to take this, because yeah, you're thinking, oh, okay, lady, she shot because he was coming to her on fire, like she got scared. What did you expect her to do? But let me tell you, I have this question. How did Isolde get a gun in the first place? Because this is a part I don't understand. So they were having this conversation and her brother revealed to her that he was going to burn himself and she just left the room. Like her brother told her in her face, if I get burned, I will become finally famous and all. Because, you know, everybody shoots themselves, but nobody has tried this, so this will have bigger impact and I will be remembered better. And she just left and went down to talk with people. And then she came back up and the dude was on fire. And obviously, because, you know, when you're on fire, it hurts like a bitch. It's one of the worst ways to go. The dude ran towards her probably because, you know, his brain was on amok and he was probably doing it to escape, for help, for whatever reason. And her reaction was to shoot, okay? Like the part of my confusion lies as to why would you leave the room and your brother alone after revealing to you he was going to burn himself? This is a part I didn't understand, if she was confused or she was telling the truth that indeed I left him alone. And then you came back with a gun? Like, this part of the story is so vague to me. What is the truth? Like, I can give her the pardon for, you know, shooting him because she was afraid. But my girl, how did you get a gun in the first place? And why did you leave him alone when he said that? Also, I'm pretty sure the bitterness was actually a thing on both sides, because not only did she say those awful things to him, like, your art is just a repetition, it's not good, or whatnot. Like, you could have said it in a better way if you wanted to give advice. Like, if you want to be successful, dear brother, perhaps you should draw this, or perhaps you should try to promote your art in a different way. You know, I believe her approach was a little bit harsh on him. But based on the family she'd been in, I can understand how that probably wasn't menacing as it sounded to me, and perhaps that was how they were talking to each other. However, it still sounds bad, like it still hurt somebody's feelings, whether that was the way you guys talked or not, you know? And apart from that, from his side of things, the way he talked to her, like how he was going to be renowned, showed me a little bit of bitterness that perhaps she had become way more famous than him and he was still left behind. And I believe that, okay, there's nothing I can do to reach your level but kill myself in a grandiose way that everybody's going to remember. I don't know if I'm describing this well, but I felt a little bitterness from his side towards her as well, based on the things she told us, at least. So yeah, that was my take on this. Let's move on to part 12. Art exhibit. Salvation shall be proclaimed. From a higher vantage, the view is much improved.
Reporter of New Free Press, editor-in-chief of The Pan, the founder of Theophil. Oh, that's Aegon Erwin Kish, the reporter who uncovered the scandal surrounding Colonel Alfred Redl. I had investigated this before. Adolf Loos, the architect. He designed the Steiner house, as I recall. That's Major Maximilian Honge and his wife. Who knew that celebrities like them would visit this exhibition? But they look different from the pictures in the papers. They were younger and less chubby. Has my memory failed me? Or is it because photography is also an art of beautification? Mr. Cull was right. People are flocking to the Secession building to get a glimpse of the new art.
I can't appreciate these things at all.
We know. We figured it out earlier. Hoffman comments from her typical cold objectivity.
I've informed the field agent squad. As soon as Heinrich shows up, we'll get him under control. Ideally, we will take him away for illegal use of arcane skills. It is the best reason and the least risk. It also complies with the laws of this time. If Manus Vindictae is behind all this, they will show themselves for sure. The squad will assist us with the perimeter by then. Marcus, your mission is to watch everything closely. Heinrich could be disguised and hiding in the crowd. Also keep an eye on the Manus and the rituals. That's what we were originally here for.
Leave it to me. I won't miss a thing.
Marcus takes a deep breath, seeking a clearer moment before diving. A starburst of information floods into Marcus's eyes, reeling across her mind with 1,000 pages at once. The world has always been a book to her.
Mr. Thomas, the representative, is talking to the ladies about expressionism. His parents did not foresee the success of impressionism, the works that made no sense but became priceless on the market. That's why his generation overcorrects their aesthetic standard and pays compliments to any art they don't understand. The reporter for the New Free Press and that major are discussing the frequent suicides in Vienna. They've written articles about it, and many of them attribute it to the publication of The Sorrows of Young Weather. Kakania is describing the founding idea of this circle. This is the first magic circle drawn by the primitive men. Quite a strong woman. The military exercise in Bosnia and Herzegovina this spring, General Conrad to lose power, a low-pressure trough on the Atlantic Ocean, ivory-colored paper for official use only, the general, wife of a cabinet member, court sand, is arcanum a bacterial infection? Is psychoanalysis a new type of mental illness?
Leave that side of the room. They're saying bullshit. Go to another side. We're not interested in what they have to say.
Mr. Heinrich is not here. Nothing useful on this page. Ah, Miss Isolde again. She's the host of the exhibition. She seems healthier than the last time we met. I don't know why, but I'm happy for her. She's about to make a speech.
It is my honor to host this exhibition. Before we begin, I'd like to express my gratitude for Mr. Heinrich, who is Theophil's friend and the curator of this exhibition.
Heinrich still hasn't shown up. Did he notice something?
And also, a friend of mine, the founder of the circle, Miss Clara. Without her tireless work behind the scenes, we wouldn't be here today. Born into a rising arcane family of the middle class, Miss Clara is a devoted doctor and an art connoisseur with impeccable taste.
Isolde makes for a dramatic introduction, reaching out towards the audience below.
Dr. Kakania is standing up, greeting the guests. That's an awkward smile. Looks like she didn't see this coming. Miss Isolde is giving her an encouraging look. She wants to introduce her friend to the celebrities? So they're actually very close. I told her not to mention my name. Miss Kakania is lowering her hat. Does she not like the spotlight? No, that's not it. Is it because of Miss Didastov's gaze?
Marcus observes a woman in green intently. Isolde lifts the curtain.
This is the debut of the Salvation, the only painting Theophil left behind.
This is it.
In his last moments, Theophil became obsessed with the Golden Isle. He envisioned it as a realm of art and culture, a utopia for arcanists. There, the primal vitality and passion of arcanists would be preserved and never tainted by the outside world. He wrote, "That island holds the hope of salvation."
Is this so? This is above my clearance. Sounds like everyone in Vienna has their own interpretation of the island.
Apparently, because even Theophil would be devastated to know that there isn't much art there, mostly numbers. And that analyzing everything would probably not sit well with him.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. We are forming a committee to petition the Empire to cease its attacks on the island.
By the way, I didn't get that during the previous chapter. I didn't understand who is attacking the island. I just remember that Sophia turned to Sonetto and was like, are these yours attacking the island? And she said no. So I don't know who on earth is attacking the island.
The arcanists there are not lunatics. They are simply living free.
Huh?
Familiar words interrupt Marcus's thoughts, her eyes widening in bewilderment. But beneath the spotlight, the speech continues.
Their existence is a revelation to us. To help them is to help ourselves. Our society is sick. Treating the individual is only treating a symptom. It needs a radical surgery. A revolution that will let us rediscover our repressed nature and reinvent ourselves in this world.
Something's wrong. Her speech is...
Marcus's intuition hums out a warning. A loud, clear klaxon in her mind. Before she can act, Isolde raises her hand as if holding out some drawn sword, reaching the climax of her speech.
I wish for the arcanists to unite and establish an independent kingdom of freedom, free from repression and oppression.
It's an emergency. Seal the exits. Add Isolde to our targets.
She's not Manus. This is not what she meant. Calm down. Hoffman delivers her orders coldly and without a moment of hesitation.
Marcus, now.
What? Am I hearing things, or did Miss Dittledosh really say that?
At first, the crowd stirs like a ripple over a deep and swift current.
Oh, forgive her. Perhaps Miss Dittledosh hasn't fully recovered from her illness.
What? Did I get this wrong?
I think so too.
Kakania rises up from her seat, her hat sliding off her knees, stand hands failing to catch it.
But how? I did not tell her to.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, calm down.
A man's voice booms from the other end of the exhibition hall.
Do not panic, for I have found salvation for you.
Is he Manus?
Henry? What is that behind you?
Often the target showed up. The golems are attacking us.
Oh.
I see it too. The arcane skill of object enchantment. Marcus, give it a read.
Armored statues surround Heinrich, reaching a motionless still that creates an odd if dramatic tableau.
Please do not ignore what Miss Dattersdorf is saying. This is a proving ground for a world-ending experiment.
What?
A catastrophe is coming. The clouds of war are filling up the sky.
Oh, there's a storm coming?
Open your eyes and look at all we have now. The music, the art, the ambitions of progress. Man's gunfire will destroy them all.
What? What are you all talking about?
Not to worry, Doctor. You simply don't know yet.
Are you Manus? After all? What in the world is going on? I am Confucian? The woman, now so strange in the doctor's eyes, reaches out her hand.
Follow me and I'll show you everything. Where your dream has taken a root.
The appearance of the golems agitates the crowd, and the ripple becomes chaotic crush of waves.
This is ridiculous. An independent kingdom? It is treason.
We are Viennese. Why would we want to leave our own country?
Are these golems works of art too? They look expensive. I'd like one in my collection.
There's always the one, dude.
Open the door and let us go. This travesty is a disgrace.
The glow of arcane skill strikes against the golem but leaves no trace of damage.
Are these golems immune to arcanum? We can't get to Heinrich.
Madam Hoffman, I read them. Object enchantment strokes. The same ones we found at the Foundation branch.
Any signs of the Manus rituals?
No, nothing yet.
Hoffman nods, pressing the communicator again.
Golems can only be broken from within. Marcus, tell everyone the method. Ola, evacuate everyone and use the mute spell. Don't let more people hear about the error.
The mentor, now agent, draws her sidearm, pushing through the panicked crowd. Through the gaps between the golems, she keenly spots a pink dress disappearing behind a painting.
Heinrich escaped with Isolde. There's an opening behind the painting. After them.
Well, I've been repeating myself this whole patch, but what on earth is going on? Anyway, let's go. Part 13, The Island. That golden island is undoubtedly a sanctuary for the arts, a utopia where all arcanists can thrive. The low stone table is ill-suited for writing, but there is little other choice for the moment.
Thank you for your mediation within the committee. I think you're right. Sending more people to the island will only exacerbate the trust issue. They don't trust us. And that's what Arcana wants. Things have just got better. And we can't let anything else upset this delicate balance. I think...
The pen hesitates for a moment, but driven by need, it commits to the paper.
If we somehow can't come to an agreement with the Apeiron, we should at least prevent them from allying with the Manus in turn.
The letter lingers dangerously on her fingertips. Then it flatters its wings, flying out of a room as a butterfly, heading at speed toward the headquarters of the St. Pablo Foundation. A timely knock breaks the tension in her.
Come in, please.
The visitor lifts the curtain. The rooms of the School of Apeiron rarely have doors. Such curtains are merely courtesy for guests from beyond the island.
Good morning, Miss Verton.
Who are you?
I'm here to see if you need help with anything.
May I have some more paper?
Of course. We are always generous in our support of the contemplative.
Thank you, Miss Marta. Don't you want to ask me what I'm writing letters for?
Despite all the unpleasant events, the integrity of your soul number is unquestionable.
The school's envoy stands silently, her gaze not reflected beneath narrowed eyelids.
The Foundation is negotiating with the outside world. They are trying to resolve this unfounded territorial dispute peacefully. We've yet to reveal the coordinates of the island, and don't want to exacerbate the conflict. Could you convey our sincere intentions?
You're such a young girl, yet you sound like an official.
She sighs resignedly.
But I'm just a practitioner without a number, a roamer of turbulent times. I haven't been on this island much longer than you. I will send your message, but I'm not the one who makes the decisions. It's just, from what I know about the teachings of Apeiron, what you're striving for is not of their concern, Miss Verton.
I don't understand.
All that is trivial in the phenomenal world is the trivialist of trivialities.
A wind blows in from beyond the void. In the direction of a sea breeze, one can see that the beach has been restored as if it were new, no longer bearing the scars of battle that had littered it only a short time ago.
If the emanation arrives, everything will be washed away. Wars, disputes. Their number one priority is how to find salvation, once and for all.
The debate has been going on for days. The Hall of Truth occupied by the clamor of their crushing reality.
The fact is, we're going astray. The emanation in 1999 had taken away almost all our outside contacts. Ever since the incident 4 years ago, we've been cut off from the outside world and have become an isolated island in the emanation. And during these 4 years, no research on the emanation progressed. In the end, the theoretical study of its patterns was proven completely wrong. How long should we sit idly by? Until the humans take over our island? No matter who revealed our coordinates, be it the Foundation or Manus Vindictae, someone should be held responsible.
37 is the one in charge of studying the emanation. Save your questions until after she wakes up. 6 is treating her now.
Treating her?
Also, talking about the decisions made 4 years ago is meaningless now. What's more, the Foundation is not hostile. They helped us minimize the damage from the reveal. Manus Vindictae has also given us constant material support since that difficult time 4 years ago.
37. She's just a child. Can't even handle her own business. Ever since she brought outsiders to the sacred place, everything has changed.
You know you're judging a child in a coma? Even if 37 did something wrong, she's certainly paying for it.
Those gathered glare at each other from the edges of a room, seething with anger. Far from their formal votes awaiting the casting of stones, the debate has yet to even produce a clear topic of debate. The pursuit of truth of days past, now muddied by the dust and blood of the phenomenal world.
Don't get angry. What 42 is trying to say is simple. Even if the emanation will take away the human army, when is it coming? Now that our model has failed, how can we be informed of the next emanation and act accordingly? If pure theoretical research is doomed to failure, and if we must look outward, how can we restore communication with the outside world? Do we stand with the Foundation, or with Manus Vindictae?
A clear voice of opposition rises from below.
210. Your words are provocation.
How? He just said, you have to pick a side.
Are you saying that we should stop being neutral and get involved in the endless faction disputes? This is against what Apiron stands for.
I can't agree either. The truth is supposed to keep us off the Wheel of Birth, not on it.
I was just interpreting what 42 had in mind. Moreover, we're already caught in the Wheel of Birth. Human weapons were undeniably dropped on our island before. The tragedies it caused and the thirst for justice will only keep us trapped in this cycle. But what caused this cycle to begin with? Brothers and sisters, you are blinded by the shrapnels of that conflict, and you're missing the essence. Listen to me and I will tell you.
Cut to the chase, 210. It seems you're the one blinded by your own rhetorics.
Who can get me the stone clock on Six's seat? I'll clobber him myself.
The rhetorician taps his forehead mockingly, ignoring the dissatisfaction of his cohorts.
The original cause is the failure of our research on emanation. Our excellence comes from our beliefs. Once the truth fails us, the foundation that sets us apart from the world will also fail us. However, my people of great wisdom, forgive me for imagining a worst case for you. We believe the book of nature was written in the language of mathematics, and every number is a transcendental existence living in the kingdom of eternity. Math is the path to truth. The calculation of math patterns has led us to pursue the fundamental knowledge of the world, the origin of Pneuma. But what if the supreme existence has no pattern at all? What if the ebb and tide of Pneuma is chaotic and irrational?
An uproar ensues.
210, are you denying our beliefs? Are you saying the results we've achieved are just coincidences? The fundamental theorems of ancient mathematics? The applications and improvements from modern mathematics? The mathematical laws in atomic clocks? And leafination? And every prophecy of emanation that were proven correct? Were they all just a collective dream of ours?
Well, technically, if they had results before, their theory must have some base. Like, it's not completely wrong, I believe, it just still has room for growth. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to see their theory apply to reality if it was completely wrong.
Well, like I said, I was just imagining a worst-case scenario. Exhaustion is also a common method of proof.
See, even though he usually stirs up people for fun, it's actually good to have that one person in a group or more that puts the group into the what-if situation. Because, yeah, sure, they've all developed a theory that they follow for years and that has produced results, okay? But I don't think that they should find comfort in that their theories will always work. So I think that what 210 does here, even if they are scenarios, even if it's stirring the pot, is actually helping people think. The further defense becomes untenable amid loud denunciations. The calls rise one after the other, bouncing against the stone walls of the hall and reaching the ears of listeners outside as an echoed cacophony.
Please help us, O Apiron. Correct the errors of our souls. Bring us back on the right path. Harmonize our spirit with the flesh, our will with life. Avoid sedition from a city. Purge sickness from the body.
Sophia wipes away her tears. A flock of seagulls flies over the beach. They circle and dance in the air with an unusually delicate grace, more like butterflies than birds.
They don't look like seagulls. Or am I mistaken?
The corrector moves forward, stepping into the crystal clear sunlight, with the red wax seal of a St. Pavlos Foundation expressed letters clearly visible.
Are these all from the outside world? What's happening out there?
I'm really curious who's actually making the attack, because I don't think I understand. Because, yeah, we spoke of a committee, but which committee is that?
A lovely day to rest at an outdoor cafe, isn't it, darling? Everyone working here is a capable server and knows how to address you properly with my lady.
Oh, her again.
I'm here for one simple thing. Information. With a careful ear to the goings-on, a shrewd businesswoman can gather all the latest news. Oh, there she comes. That girl in green with the bouncing feathers in her hat. Don't worry. She can't hear us from here.
I know her.
Of course you do. Isn't she our lively little cockatoo? She says she's a psychiatrist, but with all the work she does for the people, she's more like Vienna's own Robin Hood. Oh, look at those people around her, with their gold cufflinks and patched sleeves. Very likely they're from Leopoldstadt. You can hear them saying, "Our golden era is finally here. Forget all these melodramatic rumors."
Leopoldstadt.
Maybe you know it by a different name? Perhaps you caught a glimpse of it under the list of exhibit sponsors? Europe at that time welcomed people from all over the world. Its culture and art held as their highest ideals. Its institutions believed they held the keys to paradise. They once believed that they were the lucky few. Blessed with the wisdom of a golden age, that's why they still linger here, even after the smoke of war faded the glimmers of gold away. It's not surprising to see Our Lady with them. See, she loves to seek these well-hidden things and chirp along with the most overlooked voices. But I feel sorry for her, because she herself overlooks some of these teeny-tiny things said at her own expense.
What things?
Words taken as jokes. Ignored because her wishes and anticipation outweigh their sting. But while songs are floating in the wind, the clock keeps ticking. People in the cafe talk about the secessionists and the newest plays in the same breath. No one cares about the rumors trafficked in the newspapers. They're only concerned with what is in front of their eyes. Still, the good doctor comes to share the pain of that melancholy lady, and then next to the cafe, to encourage the lower class to persevere. She says that every man is entitled to the same rights. She'll draw a circle around them all like the ring road, or the round mirrors in her clinic. The good times will come again, so say the coffee sippers. But you know, in the end, they'll be like the undissolved sugar at the bottom of the cup. My dear, your coffee is getting cold.
Part 14. Fitch's Bird. A surge of passion, a genuine heart, and a single tear.
I'm looking for Isolde von Tittersdorf.
Two vigilant eyes appear from within the vent. The watcher silently looks over Kakania, then opens the underground passage.
I'm looking for Isolde von Tittersdorf.
A small window opens high along the stone wall. A different watcher now looks at Kakania again, more indifferently this time, unlocking the iron door with a key. Oh!
I'm looking for Isolde von Tittersdorf.
So, both her and the blonde dude had access to Laplace. The ragged peddler, a stranger to Kakania, nods with strange recognition. He drapes a colorful feathered cloak over Kakania and hurries through the corridor.
You sure this will work?
No time to complain, Doctor. You should be very grateful that I'm helping you. This is an invisibility cloak from Bohemia. It took the hair of 2 witches to make one. No one will see you, even if you were right under their noses.
Okay.
The stiff feathers cover her entirely, making Kakania feel like an odd, flightless, if colorful, bird. Enduring the discomfort of the smell, she quickens her pace. The sound of her own footfalls accelerates her heartbeat, though she tries to remember they are only audible to her. She turns a corner, then passes through another corridor. Things might well have gone smoothly if not for some unexpected occurrences.
Huh? Where did the feathers come from?
Ah, okay, it's not Laplace, it just uses the same background art.
Holy... It's losing feathers! I should have known these arcane devices were unreliable. I'm so close.
Kakania breaks into a run, her billowing skirt escaping the closed cover, and so appearing in the air behind her.
Hey, wait! Isn't that the wanted criminal Kakania? The traitor! Disturbing the peace, inciting treason, and bewitching citizens with arcane skills? How dare she infiltrate the government? Halt! You're under arrest!
Why on earth are we here? Didn't Isolde leave behind the painting with the blonde dude? Anyway, to battle I go. Oh, it's getting tougher. I'll manage though. I'll manage. Oh! I didn't know we can see that. Ooh. Kakania slams the door shut, barricading her pursuers behind her. The room she finds herself in is oddly spacious. A graceful figure emerges out from behind the bookshelves.
Doctor, you finally come. I've been waiting for you.
Isolde drifts towards Kakania like a wisp, as if not fully real.
For so long. Was your journey here safe? How have you been?
Are you serious? Kakania can't help but step back cautiously.
Isolde, what is going on? What have you and Heinrich done? Why did you say that at the exhibition? Who were those people helping me on my way here? What's with the golems, the secret tunnels, and that turmoil? You vanished from the exhibition, and now the Circle is considered a treasonous organization, and our members are now wanted. Newspapers are criticizing us. The New Free Press called us treasonous and naive, like a teenage runaway. And now the Circle has become subversives, and I'm wanted. They even thought the chaos and subsequent turmoil were planned by me. This is not why I founded it. And now you invite me here, claiming to have found the way to realize my dream. You're confusing me. Are you still the Isolde I know? You...
Please listen to me, Doctor. I've been meaning to tell you from the beginning. But Heinrich stopped me and told me the exhibition was a better time. He said your dream is a dream for everyone. And that's why we should announce it in front of everyone. I should apologize. I did not see this coming. I have discredited you, and you have every reason to hate me.
She poorly hides her disappointment from her face, wilting as the light in her eyes dims momentarily.
But worry not, Doctor. I give you my word. Soon you won't have to worry about anything. These people don't understand your dream, and they won't become your allies. But we We are different.
We?
She furrows her brow, mulling over the word with full weight and prudence.
The mister who sent me your message. The people showing me the way. All were unfamiliar faces. I've never met any of them before. Who are they? No, who are you? What is your purpose?
Doctor, it doesn't matter, Doctor. What matters is that we share the same dream with you. We long for the same paradise as you do. That glorious kingdom of freedom.
She steps towards the void again with staged emotion. Her smile is beautiful as it had been in any performance.
Isolde, are you seeing illusions again?
No, Doctor. I'm completely cured. You healed me, and now it's my turn to treat the world with you. Let's scrape the paint off the top, reveal its true colors and reshape it, until it is transformed into a perfect world, a perfect society, because we are the chosen ones.
I don't get it.
You planned the riots in Leopoldstadt, right? And the march demanding the transformation of society.
Isolde smiles half mischievously.
Isolde, I don't know what they said to threaten you, but you can't stay with them. They're not treating you. You're committing a crime.
The actress stands bewildered, as if she had never considered it at all.
But I did exactly what you told me to do, Doctor.
Me?
Isolde takes light steps, retreating but not turning.
Es warst du, der mir gesagt hat, mich nicht länger zu unterdrücken.
The graceful woman takes her place. Soon she will pay homage to the splendid one-act play with her art. Ah. Isolde nods, turning in a move at first bashful. Wait, because I missed that line. The graceful woman takes her place. Soon she will pay homage to that splendid one-act play with her art. The curtain of her stage is about to rise. Why are you with the manners, girl? But then her face returns, now hidden behind a black mask.
Es warst du, die mir gesagt hat, dass unsere Gesellschaft eine Operation braucht. Und dass wir Organisten einen neuen... Ist das nicht auch dein Traum? Ich möchte dir nur die Wahrheit der Welt geben. Ich möchte dir nur deinen Traum zurückgeben.
No wonder the blonde dude survived the storm elsewhere and then came to that place and gave Kakania the book that inspired her, etc. I thought at first that perhaps he was like Vertin, but it made more sense to be with Amanus. He had a mask, that's why he survived, not because he had some sort of immunity power or something like that. I mean, a lucky head guess they enticed Isolde to be one of them the moment Hoffman was alarmed during the exhibition, but I didn't know where exactly that had led Isolde. This shows me that she's been with them for a while, though. It's not just now. I even wonder if her brother was with them now. Part 15, with hope rekindled. Don't fall into darkness.
Burns his letters, Marcus. Destroy them in accordance with the Field Mission Manual Article 341, so that no one else can read them.
Hoffman walks briskly, handing over the latest reviewed letter to her assistant.
Okay, Madam Hoffman. But shouldn't we reply to these messages from the field squad?
Don't bother. The secret letters are sent to all active investigators above rank 4. The squad is like the watchers of the critical points. They collect and record every event different to the ones in history and report to the Foundation. These incidents will be the index for evaluating the stability of the current era. In other words, the more reports they send, the more unstable the era is. This keeps every field investigator up to date on the situation so they can plan their next move. In the past, we have seen too many tragedies caused by a lack of information. But now, our own task is more urgent.
Hoffman bites her lip, rushing Marcus around the corner. Recent events have added a few more strands of white hair.
The Circle publicly committed treason. Isolde and Heinrich disappeared. Kakania became wanted. The Leopoldstadt riots and the march of the lower-class arcanists may be directly related to them. Heinrich and Isolde's speech is like the sparks that ignited the powder keg that is Vienna. The riots have been going on for days.
But why was Miss Kakania wanted? She didn't act out of line in the exhibition and seemed totally unaware of the speech. All she had was the book which didn't belong to this era. Clearly, Heinrich didn't tell her a thing.
It is because she is the known founder of the Circle, and a middle class with no background. This is good news for us, Marcus. We can start with Kakania. They didn't protect her from being wanted, which means she has not been fully assimilated into this elite group of nobles. How typical of Manus Vindictae. We need to find her fast. Luckily, the spider tail you put on her is reacting.
Oh. Stones scrape over the top of her head. The investigators turn back in shock. The statue standing at the entrance to the Foundation's Vienna branch has just been shattered to pieces. A hysterical laugh can be heard booming from the fourth floor window.
Go to hell, you dirty, disgusting officials! For a kingdom of freedom!
For a kingdom of freedom.
Shoot, they're attacking the Foundation branch. Focus on what's important, Marcus. Someone summoned a bunch of critters on Kärtnerstraße. They're coming this way.
A minute again. Just so you know, I almost died. Yes, it's getting real hard. Strangely scented smoke spreads out over the street, making the already chaotic scene even more incomprehensible.
Something's wrong with this mist. Maybe the evaporation of the arcane potion. Devil's shoestring, judging by the smell, for better diffusivity. Marcus, cover your mouth and nose if it enters the Foundation's branch when it clears up.
Hoffman pulls Marcus's hand, darting through the crowded speed to avoid inhaling more of the unknown gas. At last, they reach an area not yet engulfed by chaos. For now, all that's left for them is to wait. The unseasoned investigator stands stunned and characteristically vacant in mind.
Marcus, are you okay? Did the mist get to you?
No.
Marcus pats her head, where a layer of cold sweat has formed.
Madam Hoffman, the terrorists and the people in the march, what they shouted, for a kingdom of freedom. That's what Miss Ditterstorff said in the exhibit, and she quoted that from Dr. Kakania. And it was me. I told that to Dr. Kakania. I told her about the island. I told her it's a place of freedom for arcanists. So I'm the one who caused this turmoil. I told them the secret of the Golden Isle and caused the chain reaction.
Sweet summer child, it wasn't you. This was brewing for a long time. Hoffman seems to have neither words of comfort nor criticism planned. She bites her tongue in her mouth. Marcus, meanwhile, collapses slowly to the ground as she holds her head.
I didn't listen to you. I'm too reckless. I lack rational thinking. I'm unstable and out of control. And the one thing I can control, my arcane skill, didn't help at all. You vouched for me and appointed me to the field mission from the headquarters, but
Maybe it is like what you said.
Hoffman rubs her temples figuratively, ignoring the now pale complexion of his subordinate.
Maybe you did play a role in this era, causing a butterfly effect in history. But trying to be responsible for everything beyond one's capability is a symbol of irrational hubris. First of all, creating chaos in this chaotic time is more than easy. Just look at all the frequent ethnic conflicts, assassinations and espionage. If not the Circle and Isolde, the Manus will find themselves a different flashpoint. You never know how the leaked information will simmer. Its subsequent spread is uncontrollable, and remorse would be useless. The thing is, everyone has their own ideas about that island. Your words just deepened the expectations.
Her cheeks finally regain some color.
As for your self-assessment, we have all heard it. Humans are more rational and arcanists are more emotional. They are sensitive to the darkness in the world so they can easily become absorbed in their own emotions and ignore reality. But if we put a human child in the position of an arcanist, who always takes on the world because of his uniqueness, who is never understood for his talents, maybe he too will become impulsive, sensitive, immature, and unstable. And that's why it sometimes dawns on me that if we put an arcanist child in the position of a human being who receives enough love, education, and positive feedback, these instabilities might be controllable. At least enough to keep them from hurting themselves or others.
Madam Hoffman?
I took you away from the storm in 1912. It has been a long time after that, so I know how precious it must be for you to return to 1914. And your urge to complete the mission and go back to Romania. You are not an impulsive person, Marcus. You're just growing up.
I don't know why, but this made me a little emotional.
And you do need to grow.
Hoffman brings her hand to her mouth, coughing softly and hesitantly.
As for appointing you, it was by my own will. Because the age of humans has come to an end.
The age of humans is ending?
Marcus staggers back to her feet. Contrary to her expectations, Hoffman's expression is unchanged, as if she's merely stating an established fact.
If the eras keep on regressing, human technologies would fail to accumulate. Meanwhile, arcane skills that depend largely on the individual's potential will shine. In this war of reversals, futures and time, it is you who will survive, not us. And that's why sooner or later, you'll have to go at it alone. This is the most rational assessment I can make for the continuation of civilization.
Rational. But I've been doing my best to be rational as well. Even though I keep reading and practicing information analysis.
It's like she said, my girl, you're growing up. You still need time to do this the way she does.
I can't make a choice. What if I make a wrong choice? What if there's no right answer? What if I never told Kakania about...
Enough. You're getting carried away. There is nothing mysterious about rationality. It simply guides us out of confusion and straight to the essence of things.
The essence?
The reason why we're doing a job here is simple, Marcus. Arcanists keep going to the menace. It's because they can promise the salvation while we can't. Therefore, decoding their immunity ritual against the storm is top priority. If we can't, being isolated on a small piece of land, we're bound to meet our end in this temporal catastrophe. We're not the only investigators sent by the headquarters. So our mission is to collect every clue left by the menace and send them back to La Place. Everything else is secondary.
Marcus presses her lips tightly, not wanting to speak. She takes a deep breath, following Hoffman's words as they step out of the darkness. She can do nothing more than focus intently on their current situation.
Madam Hoffman, besides finding Miss Kakania, there may be another way. That painting, the last work of Theophil, The Salvation, something's off with it. When I read it in the exhibition, I felt a familiar afflatus. It was concealed in a clever way, but I noticed the traces of concealment.
Manus's arcane skill.
Marcus hesitates for a moment, performing at once a nod and shaking her head, creating a muddled response. Yes and no?
But I couldn't read anything more from it. If we can persuade Miss Kakania to help us with her arcane skill...
Is her arcane skill similar to yours?
No, quite different. I fought her once. I feel that under certain conditions, our arcane skills might be complementary.
Marcus posits wholeheartedly, once again drifting into her own thoughts.
Well done, Marcus. This is something only you can do. The government has a painting now. The field agent squad can retrieve it for us.
Hoffman nods, loading more bullets into the chamber.
The fog has cleared. Let's go. Now, we need to find Kakania.
How do we even find Kakania with the way things are right now? I believe she's trapped right now. Unless Isolde is still kind enough to leave her, but I doubt she will. I don't know.